Hello, beautiful people. My name's Rebecca Abraxas. We're live here with the podcast, Inner Peace, the holiday edition. I am super excited to be doing this because during the holidays, even the best of us who have the strongest spiritual practice, sometimes can get tripped up during the holidays. And so today's topic, I think, will relate to a lot of us. People pleasing. Today's topic is taking back our energy from people pleasing during the holidays. So, people pleasing during the holidays is a really common thing because we're around people that we're not normally around, right? Family, friends. We're going to parties and we are seeing family. We are going to work events, right? That we don't usually immerse ourselves in. Sometimes these are obligatory. Sometimes there's a thought in our head that we really want to go celebrate. And so, what we're going to talk about today is how to get out of our thoughts around this and get into our awareness around this. And we're going to learn about how people pleasing can really be sucking our energy and really be coming from a lower frequency. So, I just recently had some very big awareness around the people pleasing that I was doing, and it was very ninja. It was very undercover, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still doing this. So I thought I would bring it to the table. If I'm going through this, maybe I'm not the only one. So I have a really great vocal toning practice for us. It's called the 7 Sounds of Love. I received it from one of my vocal toning teachers, Chloe Goodchild, and it's also in the book A Naked Voice, which is one of my favorite books. So, guys, a little bit about me before we go into this juicy topic and our vocal toning practice today. So, I have a new program out, and I'm super excited about it. And I think it's perfect for the holidays. It is called ALIGH, Sound Healing and Intuitive Mentoring. So, in the descriptions, I wrote how to go to the link and you can learn all about what that is, but it's where you get a custom sound healing and you get about an hour and a half of mentoring time with me where we go in and assess vibrationally what's going on. It's kind of like really going into the subconscious and taking a look of what's going on, helping you reprogramming, raise your vibration, and then you get this custom sound healing where you listen to for a month. So check that out. And I also have an online course called Vocal Toning for Manifesting, and that is in the link as well. If you just want to go at your own pace and learn some vocal toning to kind of lighten you up. So why vocal toning? I wanted to do this podcast because vocal toning is so powerful in shifting vibration and energy quick. And during the holidays, we need something quick, right? We're on the go. Things are a little bit more frenetic. I mean, think about it. You have your normal life going on, which is already usually really busy. But then you also have all the gift giving and all the extra parties and all like the extra triggers that are coming up. Vocal toning can help soothe and process that really quickly. And vocal toning also helps to activate the vagus nerve, which is part of the parasympathetic nervous system, calms us down. So it's a really quick practice to process energy and to feel good again and come into our lightness again. So I love vocal toning. That's why I share it prolifically. So, yeah, let's get into the topics here. People pleasing. So, what I want to talk about today is why are we people pleasing? And maybe we're people pleasing and we're not really realizing it. But the cool part about taking a deeper look at this, we really get into uh, some deeper subconscious stuff that we may or may not have played with before. So, there's 2 things that I've been realizing about people pleasing. One, we people please out of fear. Think about this. If you're in fear of being rejected, of being judged, if you're in fear of conflict, You're going to want to appease the situation, right? And so the second thing about people pleasing is control, right? You have this fear, then you're going to do something to control. Okay, so fear and control, right? These two things are things that our ego really comes alive with. And perhaps we think we're people pleasing for a kindness, right? Perhaps we're people pleasing because we think we are doing the right thing, right? Kindness and light. So us light workers, star seeds, way showers, volunteers, we want to be sharing the light. And sometimes we think that is through kindness and through making people happy and through just giving ourselves to someone else. So another piece of this people pleasing thing is we find a sense of self. We find a sense of self when we are pleasing others. So don't get me wrong, right? Like being kind and being generous and loving, it feels good, right? But when you're doing it from a fear of being judged, so really, really ask this deeper question. Why am I doing this? Why am I so kind? Do I have a fear of conflict? Do I have a fear of being judged or unloved or rejected? Do I have a need to control the situation? Do I have a need to control the person so they don't act a certain way? Do I have a need to control how other people feel? I want people to feel happy. So I'm going to control the situation and please them so they're happy, so that I can be happy. And so another thing I discovered this week was that, am I people pleasing so I don't have to feel big feelings? My goodness. Am I people pleasing because I don't want to have to feel big feelings? So this happens a lot with me in parenting. I don't want to see my kids suffer. I don't want to see my kids like fall flat on their face, right? They're teens now, older teens, and I'm having a really hard time letting go and letting them just make their mistakes and fall. I'm realizing it's very hard for me to watch them suffer. So that's another area where we can people please, keep people pleasing, keep fixing and rescuing, and just try to make it all cushy for them so that I don't have to watch them suffer or make mistakes. Oh, that was a big realization, right? Not trusting my own kids' awareness. So all this is wrapped up in people pleasing. Okay. And this December, particularly 2021, we are having some very strong, high frequency energies coming to our planet Earth. And for those of us that are awake enough to receive this high frequency, it is scouring out, like whoever's ready for this energy and ready to scour out what's in the way. Someone toted it, what is it? Aaron Dowdy toted it as the new law, the law of subtraction, where we are going to subtract the density so we can infuse the light. Oh, we've got a comment. Oh gosh, my son actually fell on his face yesterday. I love this topic. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's really hard to watch our kids. And I actually have like physical body pain from watching my kids be hurt emotionally and physically. So I'm trying to really clear that and put more trust into life force that's going through them. Like, who am I to not trust their walk and their own awareness? So as parents, it's a really powerful. Our kids are a huge guru for us, right? Where we get to see where we're having this empathic response to their pain, where we try to placate so they don't have to have pain. This is all really good, fertile soil to be looking at when we are kind of subtracting the density so we can have more light. So this December, again, 2021, there's a photon belt. I don't know much about it. But supposedly there's a photon belt in line, and it's giving us a huge wave of high frequency energy. And it's what's happening is the truth. The truth will be revealed for those that are on the path. And we all are on the path. Every human being is on the path. And wherever you are on the path to receive uh, this light, this energy, okay, it'll affect you accordingly. Um, there's no hierarchy here. There's just different journeys and different places on that journey. So if you're in a place to really receive a lot of this energy, it could feel intense. It could feel really intense. And this people pleasing topic has really helped me open my eyes to some of the dense energies that I thought were a kindness. How I treat people and how ask, is this a kindness that I'm doing to or for someone? Or is this a fear? Is this a wanting to, is this true awareness? Am I really true is it really true that this is a kindness? Because if I was truly being kind to this person, would I allow them to have their awareness? And would I be willing to have my awareness? If we were really aware, would we really even be around this person? So if we have to control a person so much through our people pleasing, right? Maybe we're not being true to ourselves. Maybe this person really isn't a match vibrationally anymore. And if it's your kids, that's a tough one, right? Like, but if it's someone else, another family, more distant family member or a work person or a friend, like I had a session with a client yesterday, and she was saying like, oh, I've had this awareness about this friend, and we're talking about how we take our awareness and we shove it under the rug, or we put it in the closet. Like, how many times do we take our awareness and shove it under the rug or put it in the closet and just say, oh, I'm just going to cut the cords. I'm just going to shed the energy after I'm around that person. How about we ask ourselves the next question? If we take our awareness out of the closet and say, does this person really contribute to my lightness anymore? And we may notice that it doesn't. It doesn't. And would we be willing to have our awareness then and make a choice from there rather than putting our awareness in the closet? So that all this is up for me, and people pleasing is a huge, really opening the box of people pleasing and why we're doing it, and out of control and fears and different types of fears. I would really invite you to go into that topic. So beautiful beings, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a bit, but I want to give you a sound healing practice right now that you can use every day of the holiday season to really center yourself, okay? Get into self-love and really start to feel your lightness. Now, as light workers, as volunteers, way showers, star seeds, as people here to really grow a higher consciousness collective, the 5D collective, it's important that we make choices not from our ego, our wounded ego nature, but from our light. And if we're making choices from our light, we start to feel lightness, okay? There's no right or wrong here at all. There's no right or wrong. But if you are on the journey of awakening and ascension, you're going to want to choose from light. And this is a super easy practice here. I'm going to show you. It's called the Scale of Consciousness, or the 7 Sounds of Love. Before I get into that, I want to just tell you a little bit more about how you choose from your lightness. So take your hands like this. You have light and you have heavy. Okay. These are just sensations. They're of awareness. Okay. It's not light and heavy in your mind or yeah, it's not in your thoughts. Because in the beginning, when I started playing with this, I liked the thought of something. So I thought that was lightness. It's not. Lightness is a broader awareness. So you got to practice. You got to ask the question, what am I feeling here? Like, is this awareness, or is this a thought of something I like? So get clear on that. But when you make a choice to make an action or to go have an encounter with someone in regards to people pleasing, ask, is this light or is this heavy? Do I like the thought of this? Am I people pleasing? Or is this true lightness? Lightness just feels like an expansion. Think about awakening, thinking about ascension, thinking about everything being vibration. It's an expansion of consciousness. If you choose it, that's lightness. So make a choice that expands your consciousness and the sense of oneness. And heaviness is going to feel like a contraction or like a boom kind of feeling. Okay, it's going to be awareness of a sensation, like an energetic sensation. And you can choose, by all means, there's no right or wrong, because even heaviness will bring us to a contrast that brings awareness. But if you're really on this awakening and ascension journey and you really want to raise your vibration and you really are here on the trajectory of living sustained high frequencies in your ascension journey in this lifetime here, choosing for your lightness is perhaps going to be the swiftest way. It doesn't mean it's the easiest way at times. So it doesn't mean like that's the ease and joyful way. So get out of that concept. But lightness is choosing for a lightness. It expands our consciousness. So when we do this practice of the 7 sounds of love, or it's called the mode I'm going to be doing it in is called the scale of consciousness. Okay. Basically, it's just a scale. Okay. It's on a major scale. I forget which mode I'm in, but the scale of consciousness, you'll hear it has a kind of just a different type of sound rather than a major scale. But give it a try. We're gonna sing these sounds: sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Okay, we're going to go up and down with that a few times. And then we're going to change the downward scale into how I love thee. Okay? So here we go. And remember, we talked about the law of subtraction, right? This will help you get into that law of subtraction where you're subtracting the density. We're clearing out so that we can really make choices from lightness. That becomes more clear. And this has everything to do with people pleasing. As we go forth in the holidays and we notice that we're doing rituals and traditions just to people please, we're realizing I'm not really in alignment with this anymore. So why am I doing it? People pleasing. And so, yeah. All right. So here we go. Let me make sure the comments are up to date here. Okay. Thanks for your comment. Can't see the name of the commenter. So, okay. So here we go. One thing to do when you're vocal toning is really get into your heart and know that you are moving energy. You want to put your ego and your judgment self over here. Okay. No more judging your voice. Okay. Do not judge the sound or the quality of your voice. Just make the sounds with me. Judgment, ego, put it at the door. Okay. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. I'll do it a little slower so you can get this. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, One more time this way. We're going to come down and do the How I Love Thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Good. So we're going to come down with How I Love Thee now. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. So after a toning practice, you always want to come into silence and receive the frequency and the awareness. So each of those sounds has to do with a chakra, right? So sa, that lower sa, that's the root, okay? Re, that's the second chakra by the navel, right? Ga is your solar plexus, third chakra, your self-empowerment, okay? So notice what's happening when you're singing this. Notice what's shifting, okay? And as you notice yourself lightening, you just feel like you want to sing it even more. Notice that if that sensation comes over you. You're clearing and opening up the chakras, okay? You're moving your voice, which has a physiological effect on your whole nervous system. You are clearing out your emotions and your thought patterns, okay? You're quieting the mind. So all of this has so much to do with loving ourselves enough to spend the time here, spend the time with ourselves, and really, really be and cultivate this source self that we are. Okay, it's a spark in all of us. And what we do with that spark is our choice, is our free will. Are we going to grow that spark? So this practice of the 7 sounds of love, or I call it the scale of consciousness, will expand that spark. And the more you're willing to be that spark and come into your self-love, then you are able to function from that, okay? And people pleasing is not about love as much as it is fear and control. So if we're willing to source ourselves first in our source self and our self-love, we're going to act out of a true unconditional love. We're going to act and make choices from our lightness. We're going to be okay in an allowance of people's choices. Okay, we're going to be solid and know that we're okay if these people out here are not happy or are making choices or are suffering, and we're going to be strong enough to not put ourselves in situations that are not in alignment with our lightness. And we're just going to say no, thank you. So let's go through the scale one more time. I already feel a sense of peace. and lightness. It's just a beautiful practice. I love this practice so much. Let's do another round of it, okay? Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. I hope you're doing this at home with me. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee, how I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee, how I love thee. Now, as you really give yourself to the sound, as you give yourself to the vocal toning, you're going to notice that you're going to feel a sense eventually of being sung. It's going to feel really good. You feel the sensation of being sung, and then you're going to feel it move through your body. And that's what my hands are doing. Okay. And so when you do this enough times and you're feeling this lightness and you're being sung by the light, you may notice that your light language will come through. And you just feel this sensation of being moved, okay, being sung. And that's what light language is. So it's really important when we do these vocal toning practices to get out of judgment of our voice, okay? Just let the ego aside. This is not about performing. This is about moving energy, subtracting density. It's about lightening ourselves up. And this is such a beautiful practice to do during the holidays. Teach your family, teach your kids, do it together. I've tried to do that with my boys. They're 14, almost 15, and 18. And that didn't work so well, but some kids are more open to it than others. And if you can share it with your family, I had this idea once to do family sound constellations where I would sit with a family and we would hear about some of their challenges, and then we would do a vocal soundscape, and I would direct the different people, the different family members into the soundscape and create this beautiful sound healing for the family to listen to together. I thought that would be a fun offering. But yeah, so maybe I'll do that in the new year. So let's do it a few more times. And I really want you to feel this time, if you're feeling that sensation of being sung, being moved, okay? And see if you can let caution to the wind and see if your body is going to move with the sound, okay? Here we go. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee, how I love thee. Sa re ga ma how I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Feels really good. Just sit with the awareness, sit with the stillness and the quiet a moment. Wow, that feels amazing. So, the frequency that you end up with after doing this for a little while, fear can't really live there. The frequency of fear can't really live in the frequency that we just cultivated. Control, you kind of like throw caution to the wind. I'm in the flow of spirit. So when we're in that space, people pleasing doesn't really happen. What does happen is, this is fun. Let's play here. Oh, this isn't fun anymore. Let's leave. Let's take care of ourselves. We just live in beautiful flow of lightness. So when you're in this space, so I'm going to tell you how my Thanksgiving went. I did not cultivate this energy. I got up too late. I wound up having a little disagreement with my husband. Family came over. My oldest son was not really cooperating. And it just, you know, I could feel the people pleasing. I could feel the resistance. It was not fun. But then I was just in the momentum of the holiday and I couldn't stop. Or could I? We can always stop. So I urge you to pause. If you're feeling like rushed and you just went into your day and you didn't get to cultivate this peace that we just cultivated, I urge you to get it back in the car, get back into your room, whatever it is, and do this practice. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. And do it for like 5 minutes if you have 5 minutes to spare, and get into this peaceful space where the energy of fear and control really can't play. They're not a match. So I know as the holidays progress, I'll be doing this and cultivating this before I step into the ring with family, with traditions, with whatever. And you may have a practice that you do, and maybe just add this to your tool belt or your toolbox. It moves very quickly and calms us down very quickly. It's called the 7 sounds of love. And so before we wrap up here, I want to just talk about the sense of self. Okay. The sense of self is really an important topic when we talk about people pleasing, especially with us light workers, way showers, volunteers, starseeds. Tend to get an identity around being nice, around being, unconditionally loving. And when our identities are wrapped up in there, our awareness has taken a back seat. So really look at this topic of your sense of self. Is it a role you're playing? Or are you in the true nature of your lightest self, of your ascension self? And are you willing to not live the constructs anymore of how the ego has taken control of your sense of self, even as an awakened person? We have to keep track of that. We could be very awake, and even in our ascension journey, and all of a sudden the ego creeps in and creates attachment to it, creates a sense of self around it. So notice where you're getting your sense of self. It's just a good question. And that's another area where people pleasing can come in. We're living up to our role as an awakened person. You're welcome. we're living up to our role as an awake person, and we feel like that has certain attributes, and we don't live from awareness. If we're living from awareness every day, you're going to notice that you might have to cut the cord, you might have to get snippy, you might have to act not kind as a kindness. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but ask yourself, what would be the kindest thing to do right now? And it might not look like unicorns and hugs. It may look like, a strong talk or something like that. So just something to look at there. So that's involved in people pleasing. Do you have an identity wrapped in being a people pleaser? Making the world light, making, it's your role to come into the family and make everything fun. Is that your role? That's the ego. Okay? That's people pleasing. So take a look. It's a tough one. It's a tough mirror, that is for sure. So I hope this topic today was helpful for you. I've been playing with this topic all week, and it's been really blowing my mind and opening my heart, and woo! Oh! So take the 7 sounds of love, take it home, use it all week, and let me know. I'm all over social media. Let me know in the comments of this podcast. Let me know. DM me. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. What else? You can email me, RebeccaAbraxas@gmail. Let me know some topics that you're having an interesting time with during this holiday season that has to do with, being the light, but also like where you're getting hooked, where you're getting triggered. I'd love to have, hi there. We're just wrapping up here, but there will be a replay of this. Send me your topics that you want some vocal toning around. Let's play. The topic for next week is still open, so let me know. That's okay. So, all right. So I just want to end with a little call to action. If you could use some extra support and you're like, yeah, I could really use some hands-on support, I have a new program called ALIGH, Sound Medicine and Intuitive Mentoring. I can do it on Zoom. We do 70, where you get like over 90 minutes of intuitive mentoring, and you get a custom-made sound healing for you to listen to for 30 days. So if that's interesting to you, look in this descriptions. Or if you're like, I want more tools around vocal toning, I have that covered. I have a new course called Vocal Toning for Manifesting, and that link is in the descriptions too. And you can go at your own pace, but there's a lot of vocal toning tools in there to go into processing emotions and beliefs and vibration. And it's a cool course. I just launched it in November. So that is in the descriptions as well. So let's see. I have 5 more minutes here. Does anyone have any questions about the topic we went over today, people pleasing, or about the practice that we did, the 7 sounds of love? Any questions that I can talk about in the next 5 minutes? Let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, I'm going to do a big shout out to Ruth Anderson of Enlightened World Network. She supports so many of us light workers, way showers, volunteers, and I just want to give a big gratitude. Thank you, Ruth. You support us so amazingly and let us have such a beautiful platform to get our work out into the world, and brings, like, I get a little choked up. So I also have a TikTok live going on right now. So for my TikTok audience, head over to Facebook for Enlightened World Network. It's such a beautiful platform, and I'm so grateful to be part of it, and grateful for Ruth and her belief in all of us and the belief in our work. So, all right, if there are no questions, then we'll just keep ending with toning together. Cheers. Let's just tone for 5 more minutes and up the level of peace. Here we go. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. How I love thee. How I love thee. Woo! Let's raise that piece. Woo, that feels good. Woo! All right, beautiful beings. Thank you for joining. Thanks for singing. Thanks for bringing the peace to your holiday and to the collective. So appreciate you. And I'm doing this live every Wednesday till January 5th. So at 10 o'clock on Enlightened World Network. Vocal toning for manifesting peace, the holiday edition. So let me know topics you'd like to have covered. I'd be happy to cover them. And be sure to have a beautiful, peaceful week. Now you have a tool to go to if you're feeling a little down or a little haggard or a little like, what is going on in my world? Do the 7 sounds of love. Take care. Bye, everyone.